Um, okay. Mixtape. Very positive. We like to see it. 86%. Mixtape. This looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. It's also 10% off. Should I get it? Should I even get it? Hmm. I don't know. I'm tempted. Very, very tempted. Hmm. You know? I mean, look very positive. 86%. What? The biggest industry plant gaming history, called an indie game, is disrespectful to the genre, and calling it a game in general is a massive stretch. The characters are written like cardboard cutouts of what Gen Alpha kids think the 90s were like from movies. The soundtrack is miserable and doesn't represent the time period at all. This game is also not indie in any single way. It was fully funded and published by a billionaire. The only thing good about this was that it made me realize Life is Strange could have been written so much worse and made into something like this. Ah yeah, Life is Strange. Not recommended. Almost 4 hours ago. I'm someone who adores games that speak nostalgia. I like watching sim games and narrative games even if they don't have much gameplay. I love games with unique art styles. I love iconic soundtracks. This game was targeted directly at people like me to enjoy. It's a 5 out of 10. I think it's pretty good, right? The main characters are genuinely unlikable. Until the last second, I know there are parts that are meant to be taken seriously, but they're hilariously when you allow me to make the main characters have seizures. What? A rapid button press instead of moving to be beaten like indeed intended. The story just founders and goes nowhere. It's a narrative game where scraps for us for the story. One of the side characters is annoying and used too much modern slang in the 90s, and it took me out of it every time. Oh my god. Not recommended. I saw this on Twitter, X. People complaining about it and argued that he was not even a game. So naturally, I closed Twitter for a whole day, played myself and decided from my own opinion. Mixtape is unique, but not in a positive way. Mixtape is a game that suffers for being a game. That's right. Mixtape is the type of media that should not be considered a game. There are sequences where you don't need to press a button for minutes. Depending on it, I would have dared to stay for nearly an hour. Before I continue on Mixtape, I would like to deny my personal opinion of what a video game. A reminder, we can all, and we can all have completely different opinions on the topic. On video games, something similar to Mixtape, for example, use mechanics in meaningful ways. Life is Strange uses time loops and dialogue system to let players discover new conversations and make choices, which affect the story. Meanwhile, what remains of each presents a mostly linear story, but constantly changes its mechanics in ways that remain engaging and memorable. This patch displays having a linear story, has both choices and mechanics that remains engaging. These are all games that, even if you take their most important aspect, the story would still be interesting and somewhat fun. But with Mixtape, there is no new mechanics. You walk forward, you press button A, B, X, and that's all. You do not really learn anything new outside of the story itself. So then I ask you, the reader of this review, why not make Mixtape a movie instead? Make it similar to those interactive Netflix stories, which were especially popular in around 2019-2020. Oh my god, it keeps on going! A short nostalgia-based story with clingy writing funded by an Australian government. While some segments are fun, it doesn't feel like a game, but more like a Netflix original interactive story. It's just a movie. Out of the 2.5 hours I spent playing, it maybe spent only 30 minutes actually doing anything. Don't get me wrong, the game does have a lot of charm, just not as a game. Totally could have just been a movie. Biggest nursery plant in the past decade. Game made by game journalist for journalists. Ah. Ah. Alright. Alright. I guess, this is the biggest slop ever created, actually. Very positive. Very positive. Am I in the way? Nah, I'm fine. Very positive. Very positive, my. This is the biggest disappointment I've ever witnessed. They are hiding the true reviews. You're kidding me. And don't tell me that it's this is very positive because how? It's very positive, but the first review is um negative. Can anybody tell me? Let's see. Very positive. For ah, it's so funny though that this is still the most uh all. How come I go to all and the first things I see is negative? Not recommended. 5 hours. 9.1 hours. 3.8. Free. Not even an hour. Not recommended. Not recommended. Not recommended. No, 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 no. Product refunded. Refunded. Jeez. Jeez. Man, you know your game is absolute garbage when you let boomers play this game. I was not old enough to play Life is Strange. I was not born. Oh my god. Product refunded. This game, the epitome of only 90s kids will remember SpongeBob, while not even knowing the difference between 80s nostalgia and 90s nostalgia. What happened? What happened? I pressed all reviews. What happened? Very positive, my. Wow! You're kidding. Very positive, my. Wow! Okay, what is this? Oops. Bra. Yeah, this is 80s nostalgia garbage. 80s nostalgia. Garbage. Bottom of the barrel. No wonder boomers are so brained. No wonder. What? Ah ha ha ha, so funny. Let's vandalize a house with toilet paper. Whew. And I'm not gonna play any sound because, you know, copyright. I don't want any more copyrights. Rawr. How? Bad. What happened? Okay, I guess gravity doesn't work in the game. Okay, I think we watched enough of this. What are these? This is a strange life wannabe game. And it fails horribly. You're kidding? Not to mention that they also did this. Read more. Man. They basically just shot themselves in the foot. These developers of the game just shot themselves in the foot. Really. IGN. 10 out of 10. Yeah, well, yeah, if I see someone from the IGN company rating this game as a 10 out of 10, I would think, what mushrooms are you on? Actually, no, no, no. Everyone from the IGN industry are always on mushrooms. Not the good kind, like on the pizza. those types of other mushrooms. This is pure garbage nostalgia for boomers. Are you kidding? Are are you kidding me? Hold on. Let me find IGN mix tape reviews. True nostalgia isn't replicable of a specific place or time, but of a feeling. It's those flashes of emotions that transport us back into memories that have long sat dormant. I was born too late to be a teenager in the 90s. I grew up thousands of miles away from the schools of Northern California. I've barely stepped onto a skateboard outside of a couple scrapped knees in the summer of 2003. Okay, I'll call you a boomer. That's what you are. Isn't that right? But none of that matters, and Mixtape knows it. Australian developer Devian and Dinosaur Files, each and every moment of its coming of age tale with incredible music, perfectly handpicked to set the tone for its free flowing chapters in a way only nostalgia can. Ah. As original as it is revealed, it's a those of a new memories hanging brilliantly on how they remind us of our own. A coming of age story is perhaps my favorite framework of all of fiction. Well, if you think so, then you are the biggest loser of all. If you think that this is peak fiction, man. Never mind, this is favorite framework of all of fiction. That still stands. That longing of all time I didn't live in. So this guy didn't even live in the 90s. And somehow it's nostalgic. And it's been giving a chance to hang out with friends who never knew me are essentially oh are
Sensations.
wow wow sulla parcheggio morto.
Senzati. Sensations.
I find myself coming back too often. This is far from the first video game to tackle the concept, of course, but it might be the first one to have nailed a tonal balance that hits just right for me. I've tried to enjoy the Life is Strange series more than once, but it's always landed into corny territory, just a little too much for my taste. Mixtape, on the other hand, feels more rooted in how actually people talk, and is all the better for it. Sweet without being. Is this? Chakran? What? Hold on, what is this? Oh, okay. Um, thoughtful but never forced, and always funny. Official gameplay trailer. You know your game is absolute garbage, like absolute zero. You know, you know your game is absolute garbage when this is what they are saying about the game. Pure nostalgia, am I right? Pure nostalgia. All of you boomers. All of you. This is nostalgia for you. Gay, the gayest generation of them all, boomers, the boomers. And I do mean it. The gayest generation of them all, the boomers. I mean, they never said anything once good about the game, besides being like nostalgic and comparing it to Life is Strange. Other than that, which Life is Strange is a pretty alright game, I guess. A lot of people played it, but you can't even compare them at all. Like, at least that game had a story, had something behind it, had people that actually cared for the game. This is just pure boomer nostalgia bait. This is pure nostalgia bait. Oh my god, they look horrible. Oh, look at this fat ass. Okay. How about we actually listen to what he has to say? Never mind, I can't. It's copyrighted. It's copyrighted. Does it have? No. No, it doesn't have any. No. Ah, man, you know your game is garbage when IGN talks positive about it. You know your game is absolute garbage when IGN gives it a 10 out of 10. Brother. Brother. Yeah. Oh well, I was Darkness Glitch. I know this video is kind of short, but I just want to talk about it. About how these stupid reviews for this game are to be honest, I think they're bots. Or maybe they're not and they're just like stupid people. Or boomers with their stupid nostalgia garbage